Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the show on this Wednesday. Wednesday, the 9th of August, 2023. Thank you for tuning in. I'm glad to have you guys here. Anyway, let's take a look at what's going on out here right now. China buys 23 tons of gold. This is the ninth straight month of large purchases of gold. It says that their total record is up to 2,137 tons, but I don't think so. I think it's a lot higher. That's the official record of Chinese gold. But they got a lot more. For years now, they've been shipping it from west to east, west to east, west. And they keep all the gold that they mine, too. It doesn't get out of China. They smelled it all down to 1 kilogram size bars. Now, speaking about the weather, powerful storm kills 2 and leaves 1.1 million people without power in the eastern United States. You guys have just felt it. Massive storm, knocked trees down left and right, knocked the power out. Maybe it was some sort of a derecho type storm mixed with maybe tornadoes or whatever, right? But it's unusual weather. We've been having unusual weather ever since 2020. Nobody can deny, and whether this is part of climate change or part of something else, who knows? But we know we've been having unusual weather. I've been seeing it. Everybody's been seeing it. Probably been in at least one storm. Most of the people in my audience. July was Earth's hottest month on record by far. Hottest month ever on record. Now, heat is what feeds storms. It's fuel for storms. A storm acts like a giant air conditioning pump, like the heat pump or the heat exchanger on your house. That's where it derives its energy. So if it's got energy to blow the trees down or create a tornado or whatever, that's a heat transfer. That's where the energy's coming from, is heat transfer. So the hotter things get out there, the more violent the storms get. Pacific Ocean temperatures are already warmer than usual, and they're facing a looming El Nino. So the weather's crazy all over. It's not just in one spot. Take a look here. Storm Hans, it's called Hans, H-A-N-S, is a man's name, I guess, causes havoc in Norway with the heaviest rains in 25 years. So Norway's getting hit. It says a powerful storm has brought destruction to Norway, causing landslides and leaving an entire town stranded, as meteorologists warn of the strongest rainfall in a quarter of a century. The storm, named Hans, has killed 2 people. So again, 2 people. So we got one over here in the east coast of the United States, killed 2 people, and now we got one over there in Norway that's killed 2 people. Now, to change the subject a little bit, did you know if you can go on either Amazon or eBay or a number of other sellers, and you can buy these little things called drones. A lot of you have probably seen them. At least you've probably been to the park making your dog for a walk or whatever, and you've seen somebody flying one of these things. They buzz. They sound like a bee. Flying around. Called drones. But you can buy drones that have facial recognition technology. Now, this is commonplace. A lot of the drones have it. They're all over eBay. They're all over Amazon, these drones. You can buy them anywhere on eBay or Amazon. It's not a problem. They're not real expensive. And they have facial recognition technology. And all you got to do is push a little button, and the drone will follow you around. It scans your face just kind of like your phone scans your face. It knows who you are. It locks in on you. If you take 2 steps to the right, the drone will fly 2 steps to the right. If you try to run away from it, it'll follow you. And that's easy available technology. It's out there everywhere. Of course the military's going to have that technology. But, I mean, how hard would it be to take it 1 step further? Not only the drone follows you, not only does it have facial recognition technology, which is technology that we have available to us, but how much harder would it be to make the drone into a kamikaze and put a little bang on it, right? So with the facial recognition technology that they already have in these drones, they just have to tweak it a little bit. Now imagine this. A military truck, a big flatbed, comes driving in. He parks. He puts down his hydraulic posts. So this is where he's going to be. He wants to keep it level and stable. So he puts down his hydraulic posts on the truck. Just level it and stabilize it. Stabilizers. Pulls off the tarp. What's under the tarp? Like maybe 400 or 500 of these drones sitting on the flatbed. And each one's sitting on its own little tray. And this little tray is a charging station. So when it flies away, goes off on its mission, which would probably last 10, maybe 20 minutes, and then it flies back, it lands on its little charging station, and it charges up for its next run, or its next go. See, I can just imagine this in my mind, them having this. Hundreds of them on the back of this flatbed truck. And the truck acts as a charging station. And they all these drones are autonomous. They're all got AI technology. And so they don't need, the operator doesn't need to do anything. He just parks the truck, levels the truck, stabilizes it, turns the truck's generator on to charge all these drones. And so what happens is, the first bunch of these drones, say there's 500 of them there, first bunch, say a batch of 100, flies up into the air and flies off in every different direction, 100 of these drones. Well, they got the facial recognition technology. They're flying around looking for targets. People walking around. Anybody that's outdoors, that's just on their merry way, walking down the street or whatever. They hear the drone coming up behind them. They turn around to see what it is, and within less than 1 second, the drone scans their face, analyzes their face, runs it through a database, and decides whether or not that's going to be a potential that person's going to be a potential target or not. All automatically. And if the person checks off okay in the drone's little AI brain, in other words, his face he didn't have the face of people that are on the list of the excluded from whatever they put it. But so the drone says, okay, this guy, he's a potential target. That drone is going to go zoom down toward the guy and chase him down the street. But you can't outrun it, it's too fast. It is going to get you. It's going to get you. Because it's probably got a little bang inside it. Or a big bang inside it. Who knows? So 100 of these drones take off, and say they have a 20-minute flight range, and say they fly at, say, 25, 30 miles an hour. They can cover a wide area. Boy, that sure would be a potential way to put people on lockdown. Just saying. And keep them on lockdown. They just imagine stepping outside your house and the drone's got you. There's drones flying over all the time. I mean, if they parked a truck like that full of 500 drones, the first batch would take off, and that batch would fly back and land, and then they'd be charging, and then the second batch would take off. and while the first batch is recharging, and then when they come down and land, the third batch would take off, and they'd be recharging, and they could keep them in the air 24/7. And the batteries they got on board probably good for 4,000 cycles. They could stay there for months, just running the whole operation off of a generator. This is the kind of world we're living in now, guys. And so if you really want to understand what I'm talking about, I'll leave a video in the link that describes these drones in more detail of what they're like, what they would be like, potentially be like. Because I don't know for sure if they actually have this or not. But I'm just saying they have the technology for it, so why wouldn't they have it? But I'm just saying, I mean, I don't really know if they've actually got it or not, but watch the video. And I watched the video. In fact, I watched the video about 4 or 5 years ago. So could potentially have they had this technology how far back? Maybe 5, 10 years ago they had it. Maybe now they've honed it down and got it really nice and sharp, this technology, so that they really can do a lot with it. Just watch the video in the description. You'll get the idea. Because I watched the video. Anyway, guys, let's move on and take a look at the markets now. Silver price today, $22.73. It's down 2 cents. It was up a few minutes ago, 2 cents. Now it's down 2 cents. Silver and gold's finding it really rough lately. And I tell you, silver and gold are not going to make their big moves until after we go through this silly beggars game that the Fed's playing. It has to be proven that this cannot go any other way except inflation in the end. That has to be proven before silver and gold's going to take off. And the only way that can be proven to be true is when the Fed loses this battle with inflation. They're going to lose this battle with inflation because something's going to break within the markets, within the system itself. But they're not going to end this battle until something breaks. So it's a catch-22. Silver and gold is going to remain really rough on silver and gold. It's going to remain rough on everything and everybody until the Fed relinquishes. Then things will get better. It's akin to an appendix bursting. It's just what it's like. Person goes in, He's terribly sick and in a lot of pain down his lower abdomen. He's got an appendix that's inflamed and ready to burst. Terrible bad. And that's what we're like right now. It's like all of us. Right? So then what happens is, while he's waiting to be seen by a doctor or whatever, the pain goes away. And all of a sudden, hey, I feel better. I can go home now. No, you can't. Your appendix just burst. Now you feel a little bit. That's the way it's going to be. When the Fed turns around this whole thing and they start pumping the money back into the system again, all of a sudden you're going to feel better. Everybody's going to feel better. The Fed's given up the ghost. Now they've lost the fight against inflation. They've had to resupport the system. They've had to bail out a whole bunch of banks. They've had to lower interest rates. They've had to go back to quantitative easing, blah, blah, blah. And everybody's going to feel better. Relief. Everything will turn around again. Money will start to flow back into the system a little bit again. So it's temporary relief. But it's just like the burst appendix. It's going to get a lot worse later. And that's the way with this. It's going to get a lot worse later when the hyperinflation hits. That's the real destroyer. And it's going to be, this is a crack up boom we're in. Nobody can figure that out yet. Can't go any other way. The only other way it can go is if the Fed were to let the system entirely purge out. But there wouldn't be a system left. The deflation would just eat everything up because we are so over leveraged. We've lost sight of what real money is. And the system would have to deleverage back to the point where real money would have value again. Real money meaning gold. And at that point, all of the stuff that's been built up over the last 100 years, all of this crap they've built up, all of this malinvestment, everything would have to purge itself out, and everything would have to be backed by gold again. And that would just take everything right down to the ground level again, right? Flatten the entire system. Everybody would be bankrupt. Everybody. Except for a few people that had a lot of gold. And what would the world look like? It'd just be totally destroyed. So they can't go there. They can never go there. They can play like they're going to go there. They can let us think that that's where they're going to go, and they're going to balance the budget. They're going to do all this kind of stuff, but they can't go there. Ever. No way. Ever, ever. And when things start to move in that direction like it's going to go there, why, they'll just turn everything around the other way. But see, that's what they're doing right now. They're moving us toward. It's like a head fake. It's like they're taking 2 steps toward that. It's like you think, hey, they're going to go there. No, they're not. They're just trying to fake you. It's like, ha. It's like you take somebody out to see the Grand Canyon and they pretend like they're going to step off the cliff. They take 2 steps toward the edge and people go, no. No, they're not going to jump off. The Fed's not going to jump off the cliff. No. But they're just playing. They're faking all of us out. Anyway, taking a look at cryptos today. You know, Bitcoin's taking a pop. She's going up right now. So is Ethereum. Bitcoin's at 29,770. Ethereum is at 1,854, and XRP's at 65 cents. They're all climbing right now. So they're having a good day. Dow Jones Industrial Average is down 26 points on the day so far at 35,288. Taking a look at crude oil, 84.02. Bonds and rates, we're seeing fall in yields. U.S. 10 years at 4.01, and it's fell 1.2 basis points. And the U.S. 30-year has fell 2.3 basis points, and it stands at 4.18. And taking a look at the U.S. dollar index. Just a second here. Taking a look, trying to... There, over the last 5 days, it's basically went nowhere. Over the past 5 days. Thank you guys for listening to my show. Like and subscribe, and we'll catch you guys in the next episode. Have a great afternoon. Bye-bye.